an SQL. So SQL is an, we call it as an structured query language. We call it as an structured query language. We are using this structured query language for to develop, to update, to delete different databases. We call it as an database. So let's discuss one by one. So what is database? Where we are using the database? Why we are using in database SQL only? So before starting the in the SQL, is there any databases we have? What are the things we have into the previous things also we'll discuss. First of all, the data is nothing but it is a collection of raw facts. The data is nothing but it is a collection of raw facts. The information is nothing but the processed data, we call it as an information. The processed data we call it as an information. So what is the meaning of database? Either if it is a data or if it is an information, we stored into organized manner. We stored into organized manner. We call it as a database. So the database is always in table format. It means the combination of rows and columns. If we have some of the information, it is an inorganized manner. In organized manner, we are storing that data into organized manner. Organized, we call it as a valid manner. We call it as it is a database. So in real time, we are using different databases. We are facing some of the different databases like student database. In college or schools, we are maintaining a student database. In companies or in organizations, they maintain as employee database. Employee database. In marketing, people in website, they maintain a customer database. Like this one, we have in different databases. So what is the things we contain into the student database? So the student database contains related information to students. So when we are storing the student details into organized manner, we call it as a student database. We call it as a student database. So the student database contains all the related information into the student, like student hall ticket number, maybe student name, student father name, student address, student marks, student grades, student personal details, or student educational details, different subjects. Those are all things we call it as a student database. Sir, for organizing this database, we are using here SQL. We are using here SQL. So before SQL, if there is no student database, before introducing the SQL, there is no student database, there is no students previously. So the answer is yes. The answer is yes. So before we starting using the SQL, before introducing the SQL, we are using different Microsoft MS Access or MS Excel for organize the database. We are using an MS So now also we are using some of the members are MS Excel or MS Access. So these are the database tools. We are using these database tools also organizing the databases. Organizing the databases. So now we are switched to the SQL software. Why? Because the previous softwares, the previous things we have and defects, the present thing, the present SQL having some of the advantage. Why we are switched to the previous thing to new thing? The previous one having some of the disadvantages, the new one having some of the advantages. Some of the advantages. So what are the different advantages? What are the some of the disadvantages we have, sir? The advantage of SQL is major one is security. Major one is security. We will provide security to SQL database with the help of SQL. We are avoiding the data redundancy. Data redundancy or duplication. Data redundancy, data duplication. Or we have in some of the predefined things into the SQL, like functions, like operators, like queries, and all the things we have into the SQL. With those things we will use into here, we are organizing the database effectively. We are organizing the database effectively. So, sir, Mari, before MS Access, before MS Excel, we don't have a student database. Yes, in previous thing also we have a database. In that time, we are using the databases. That one we call it as a file management. File management process. File management process. We also call it as this one is an traditional file processing system. Traditional file processing system. So we already discussed the previous thing we have and some of the disadvantages. To overcome this purpose, we are using the new things. So as usual, the traditional or file management system having some of the disadvantages. To overcome that one, we are using the SQL. We are using the SQL. So the SQL things having, it will helpful to the organized database management system effectively. So here we are discussing about the database. So when we want to manage anything into the database, we are using the database management system. Database management system. So here I am giving one thing clarity. So this is only demo session. In this demo session, we are discussing completely about the keywords of the SQL. And at the end of the session, I will give the what are the contents we are discussed, what is the fee structure, duration, and all the things also. All the things also. 1 minute. Hello? Complete basic concepts of SQL here. And what are the contents, structure, all the things we will discuss it. From tomorrow onwards, we will continue the real things into the SQL. Okay. So here dbms means database management system. So here in database, we have different things. The first one is create database. Second one is if you have any updates, update the database. Or modification, modify the database. And insert the data into database, update or modify the database, or delete the database also. Delete the database also. So this one we call it as operations of database. These all things we call it as operations of the database. So how we perform the data operations into the database or with the help of an software. The help of an software. That software we call it as an dbms software. Database management system software. Database management system software. In this database management system, here we are using the SQL. The SQL is nothing but structured query language. And also we are using the Oracle also. We have different softwares. With those all softwares, those all softwares main goal is to manage the database system. To manage the database system. So here we are discussing about the which software are, that is an Oracle software. Oracle also 11G. Why we are discussing Oracles are not other end? So the present trending software is in real-time things are Oracle only. Oracle only. Okay. So dbms is database management system. So we will discuss here. The present thing is most of the companies are using rdbms. So the difference between dbms and rdbms is dbms is database management system, rdbms is the relational database management system. So what is the difference of dbms and rdbms? dbms we are using to manage the database in single tables, single databases. So we already know every database contains different database tables. So the table contains data or information. So we know already the table contains the collection of rows and columns. We call it as a table. This one we call it as a table. Which table we call it as database table. We call it as database table. In this database, if you are inserting a student information or student data, we call it as it is a student database table. Sir, I am inserting an employee details. This is an employee database table. Customer, customer. Vendor, vendor. Or others, other data. So this one database table we call it as. These all are called a combination of rows and columns. So before inserting the data, before writing data into database table, first of all, we are preparing a column names or field names. According to that column names or field names. So what are the physical data we have? All the data we are inserted into this table. For example, the first one is SID, serial number or SID, S name, student name, marks, total marks or grade, percentage, like this one. 1, 2 is serial numbers or student ID, names like this one. They got the marks like this one. O grade, A grade, 90% is 80%. So this one we call it as a database. Which database? Student database. So this is a create database table. We call it as create database table. This is an inserting the data. After creating the database table, we are inserting the data. So now I want to update the data. Updation is nothing but I want to add one more record for this into this database table. I want to add one more record into this database table. They got in 70%, B grade 70%. And also the unnecessary information or data we need to delete it, remove it. So these operations we all are performing in a single database, we call it as dbms. These all operations we are performing into a single database, we call it as a database management system. So after few days, the student got the job into one MNC company. So the MNC company maintains an employee database. MNC company maintains an employee database. So this is also an individual database like EMP table. So E number, EID or E number, E name, employee name, job role, salary. So the IDs are 1, 2, 3. Employee names, the students got the jobs. Database developers, database administrator, developer, salary. Example, I am writing an example. Now, observe here, these all are the student details, the same students got the jobs here. So I have nearly 50-member student. In these 50-member students, they got job in the 5 members. So who are the 5 members into these 50? We will mapping this one into this table. So who got the job? K got the job here, R got the job here, M got job here. 3 members. So previously these are individual databases. These are we call it as a normal database tables. Now observe it. In this database and this database both are related tables because these members got job here. How many members got job in the college, in your college or in the, we will find out with the help of these two tables. These two tables we call it as related tables. So to perform all operations into the related tables, we call it as a relational database management system. We call it as a relational database management system. Nowadays, most of the places using an rdbms, relational database management system only. So in this course, we will cover a complete database management system topics and rdbms things also. We'll discuss rdbms things also. So this is about some basic things of database. Generally, you call it as SQL. The SQL is nothing but it is a database. So we are performing these all the things, these all operations with the help of traditional systems. With the help of traditional systems, we are performing all the things manually. With the help of MS Access, MS Excel, they are also perform some things manually with the help of some softwares, basic softwares, some basic functions. But nowadays, we are performing these all operations with the help of queries. Ela perform chestamandi? With the help of queries. So how you perform the queries are with the help of SQL or Oracle softwares. When you install this software, when you write query here, those queries are automatically performs these all operations into the database tables and also store the updated things also. That's why we call it as it is a structured query language. We are perform all activities with the help of queries only here. If you create the database table, we need to write the query and perform the query. If they insert the data, you need to write the query and write the query and execute the query. If you update the data, write the query and execute the query. If to delete the data, write the query and execute the query. The entire course we will learn in different queries here. Data creation queries, insertion queries, updation queries, select queries, and other different things of queries. All of you mute here. Mute పెట్టుకోవాలి. Okay, so up to now any doubts? Up to now any doubts? Say yes, sir. No, kada? Shall we continue? So here we will discuss SQL. We will discuss the SQL things. So here, sir, who is the audience who learn the SQL? After learning the SQL, which jobs I am getting here? So in software companies, those are major departments are, the first one is development department. Yes. And the next one is software testing department. And the next one is database department. The next one is database department. So the development department, the developers are developing the applications. Developing applications. So how they develop the applications? With the help of programming language. With the help of programming languages. So when they develop the application contains three parts. One is in front end part, second one is in back end part. The back end part, one is in programming part, and the second one is the database part. Second one is the database part. Why they are using database part into the application? Because in every application, in the back end side, they need an database. Because every application stores some information into the back end part. So for this purpose, the developers need to learn the database. Because let's say an example of Amazon application. Let's example of an Amazon application. In this application, I am ready to develop or test a new customer account, create an account. So in this one, I am giving some details here. My details here. After continue, click on continue button. Those all things are stored into the database. Stored into the database. Which database? It is an Amazon database. Which database and the Amazon database. So the Amazon database contains a table format. What are the columns it have? Amazon create account database. Your name, mobile number, email, and one more column is a password. So you are the developer, you are developing this application, you need to know it, the given details are correctly stored into the database or not. So developer need to learn the database. And the second one is, so who organized this database? So why we need to organize it, sir? And for example, see here. So this is my name, this is my mobile number. I am entering this mobile number, I am entering this email here and password here. So in future, I need to update my password. So who maintain this password? Who update this password? It is in software. Who organized that software? That person, we call it as a database developer or database administrator. Database developers are database administrator. So developers need to learn the database. The database administrator learn the database. Sir, I am working as a test engineer. I am testing this application. So you need to know it that saved details are correctly stored into the database or not. So the software test engineer also need to learn the database. Can you assume it? Any data, any application, we have an without database? Any application, can you assume it? Like Amazon maintains some of the database where they stored these all details in Amazon database. Yes or no? Let's say example, any application in real time, like Facebook, like Zomato, like Flipkart, Instagram, Twitter, any application having without database? No. Now tell me, how many applications right now in live? How many applications right now in live? Cheppalestara? Number of applications we have. Now tell me, those all applications are maintaining database or not? So that is the answer for why you need to learn the database. Why you need to learn the SQL. If you are working into any software company, in application, not only directly database. మీరు డైరెక్ట్ డేటాబేస్ మీద వర్క్ చేయకపోయినా either you are working in the development department, either you are working into the testing department, or either you are working into the database department also. All the members need to learn the basic concepts of SQL is a very, very important thing. Very, very important thing. Right now, the development department is asking as a full stack. What are the full stack contains? Front end part, back end part. The back end part, one is programming language, second one is database. The next priority is database one. So we have here testing, database testing also. ETL testing also. Informatica also. If you want to learn anything here, first of all, you need to learn the basic concepts in the database. Basic concepts in the database. So why I need to learn the database, sir? And if you are trying to work into the software company in any role, మీరు already software company లో వర్క్ చేస్తున్న ఏదైనా role లో, or you are trying to enter into the software company in any role, the database is a common thing. The database is a common thing. Common గా ఎవరైనా నేర్చుకోవాల్సిందే database. Okay? సో ఎవరు నేర్చుకోవాలనుకునే దాని క్వశ్చన్ ఏంటంటే ఎనీవన్ కెన్ లెర్న్ ఇట్. Sir, is it useful into my real time? Yes, 100%. Because we are all discussed. Without database, there is no application. మీరు చెప్పండి ఏదైనా అప్లికేషన్ ఉందా? Maybe that database is a permanent database or temporary database. అది permanent database అయి ఉండొచ్చు, temporary database అయి ఉండొచ్చు. Nowadays, the trending culture is cloud databases. We are using the cloud. The cloud is upgraded things. If you want to move to the upgraded thing, first of all, you need to learn the basic concepts. మీరు upgrade కి వెళ్ళాలి అనుకుంటే first of all, you need to learn the basic concepts, all the things. So what are the contents we are discussing into here, sir? And I will explain before it. So this is here we are discussing as the Oracle. The software version is 11G or other updated versions also. So the duration of this one is 40 days. Duration is 40 days. The batch timings are now 12 p.m. to 1 p.m. 12 to 1 p.m. We are providing an offline and online batches. Offline and online both. I am providing an complete structure, complete nodes, and how to install, how to practice the queries. I will give a number of queries related to the operations on the database. Complete Oracle installation untadi. Queries tables ela create chesukovali, ela upgrade chesukovali, all the contents we will discuss into the with practicals. It means one practical project, like practical project we call it as. In the backend thing, in the backend position, how we create the database, how you insert the data, how you update the data and delete the data, we will discuss on the complete things. We will create a group, and in this group, I will share daily here, like this one. I will share the notes and queries also. Regularly. So we are working with, we are giving an assignments also. Share the notes also. These are assignments. So one database table with queries. First of all, we will give you the questions, then we will reveal the answers also. Yes, this is one database. Which database? Employee database. These are the columns or fields. These are the records. So these are the queries need to perform on this database. Table creation. How to create the table queries. All the queries we will discuss into this course. We will provide regularly notes also. SE, database administrator. Clear? And the fee structure of this course is only 5K. Only 5K. So duration is 40 days. This new batch this time, offline and online batches, We will give you a complete notes with practical sessions and with project also. So this is a demo session. The persons who are interested to join this course from tomorrow or day after tomorrow. Tomorrow also we will allow an session, free session. After listening the tomorrow session, if you are interested, if you are okay, having doubts, we will discuss on it. No, you don't have any doubts. You are interested, pay the fee and continue the course. After paying the fee, we will provide in for online students a permanent link and also giving the group access also. Okay. So tomorrow also we have a session. Please stay, please stay. Tomorrow also we have a session 12 to 1. Tomorrow also we will discuss some of the things related to the SQL. So now we will discuss what are the contents we are discussing in this session. Yes, if anyone wants this syllabus or contents, I will share it also. Module 1, Introduction to Basic Database Concepts. What is data? What is field? Limitations of file management system. Advantages of dbms, rdbms, client server architecture. Entity relational models. What are the requirements? How to analyze the requirement? Entities, relationships. To convert database table into ER diagram into database tables. How to draw the ER diagram? What are the different symbols or notations we are using into the ER diagrams? And also one of the important topic into the rdbms, SQL normalization. What is normalization and different normal forms? What is the first normal form, second normal form, third BCNF and fourth normal forms also? With practical. So introduction part of the SQL. What is SQL? Why SQL? How to install or run SQL? Commands, major commands. How to create the database as a DBA? How to create the user? How to grant the permissions, privileges, data definition language, manipulation language, control language, query language, transaction language. Create database, alter database, insert, update, select. Data types, create user roles and privileges, granting privileges. Different types of operators in SQL, functions in SQL, aggregate functions. Those all functions we are covered with example queries. SQL joins and SQL subqueries. Important topics. Inner join, outer join, self join. Subqueries also. And constraints, integrity constraints with SQL constraints. And also implementation of SQL clauses, data integrity. What are the different clauses here? What is clause? What are the different clauses? Integrity constraints, entity integrity, domain integrity, referential integrity. SQL views and indexes. What are the different views? How to insert? View, delete, view, drop views. Indexes. And finally, sequences and triggers. Auto sequences, auto increment and decrements, triggers. So these all are the contents we are discussing into the entire this SQL course. Enter this SQL course. So from tomorrow onwards, we have a session. So I am your trainer. Last but not least, I am your trainer. Myself, my name is Krishna. I have 12 plus years experience as a real-time employee and software trainer also. So this is my contact number. If anyone having doubts regarding to this session, these contents, please come with me personally or contact in this number. We will discuss on it and solve your doubts. We will continue the session tomorrow onwards the same time, 12 to 1. Okay, so last 5 minutes. Anyone having doubts, please raise me. ఎవరికైనా డౌట్స్ ఉంటే అడగొచ్చు. అర్చననా, శైలజ, సునీల్, మరియదాసు,